right, Huber.
So
I saw this trailer a couple weeks ago and got to play today Trailblazers.
yes.
New indie racing game. Small team, small game. Just set your expectations right. You know,
Yeah.
they're doing some creative stuff, but it's not a huge number. It's like 10 cars, 10 tracks.
You could have fooled me, Bloodworth, because I just watched the trailer and it seems like a big budget game because it looked so good.
Yeah, I think that's actually one of the things that they're slightly worried about is that they look too good for the size of their team.
Yeah.
They have like one artist. The guy I was talking to, I think, might be like the main programmer, if not the only programmer.
Wow.
I didn't get like the full scope of what their team size is, but they just said tiny team multiple times.
Yeah.
But yeah, so basically the elevator pitch that they gave to get our attention was F-Zero plus Splatoon. So you have like floating cars on a twisty track, but you're laying paint down on the track. Well, you're not actually laying paint down, but that's the mechanic, is you're painting the track.
Yeah.
So actually what the track is it's like a giant LED wall.
Whoa.
And so when you push the button to paint the track, it's actually lighting up pixels on the track.
Oh, okay,
So
cool.
you can actually like stop and look at the pixels.
Cool.
And see them there on the track. But it's not like Splatoon in the fact that like you're not trying to like paint all of the track your color. Like that's not the goal. Your goal is still kind of to get it in first. But what happens is when you come back around or your teammates behind you go onto your color, then you get boost.
Yeah.
And so the idea is that the longer you're on your color, the faster you're going. So it's like you'll be at ×1 speed, and then you're at ×2 speed, and ×3, and then I think there's like one above ×3, but it's like super hard to get that long of a streak.
Yeah, I love this because it feels like for the first lap, you'd almost want to be behind people because then you can kind of paint over their things. So that's a really interesting to wrap your head around, like trying to not be in first maybe for a period of time in a racing game.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that they were, they really were wanting to do is to like think about like how you can change like the core racing mechanic. And this is one of the things is, they were talking about, like every racing game, no matter how futuristic or realistic or whatever it is like there's a certain way that you want to take corners. You want to get that perfect line. But in this, like, people are painting that perfect line, and people are painting over that perfect line. So maybe it's actually better to go a bit wide and paint out where there's not other people so that you can keep your speed up and keep going that way.
Nice.
The other thing that was really cool that they were talking about is just kind of the team dynamics, the co-op mechanics here. So you can kind of do... kind of like this slipstream, slingshot, leapfrog kind of thing.
Oh my gosh.
Where one person is painting down, the other person's getting the boost, and when they get fast enough to pass them, then they start painting down, and they're getting the boost, and they kind of go back and forth.
So cool.
I'll tell you though, from actually playing it, to do that, you gotta get pretty good.
That is awesome. That is excellent. Bloodworth, one of my favorite things of all time is in Cruisin' USA, split screen, back in the day on N64, my brother was the school bus, and then I was the race car, and that was kind of our co-op, the school bus like ramming other cars. Nice. And now this feels like a whole new way to play a co-op racing game. Like, I've never heard anything like this.
Yeah, and
this
they also
awesome.
have, so like in addition to like the normal races, they have some other modes. There's one where it's a time trial. Yeah. So basically, you're all, like, everyone on the track is a team. You're all working together to just get the fastest time, and so you're trying to like work with each other to,
How many
to get it.
players?
I want to say for the time trial it's probably 4.
Cool.
Yeah, I know you can do for sure 4 split screen. I think when you're playing online it's like 3v3 kind of thing, or playing the story mode it's 3v3.
Yeah.
It does have like a light story mode as well.
Oh.
There's like a bunch of characters. Everyone of us was like gravitating towards the space frog,
obviously,
who's a little bit lighter car, more twitchy and stuff, and, and again, like all of these, and one of the things that I really dig about this game is just the art style. You got to see the trailer there.
Looked beautiful.
Yeah,
lots of colors,
and the cars are like like big and chunky and got a real style to them, because I feel like there have been a lot of teams that have branched off from different racing game studios that have been trying to recapture Wipeout, trying to recapture F-Zero, and a lot of them fall into this trap of like, oh, we want to get Wipeout fans, so it's going to look exactly like Wipeout.
Yeah.
And this game, to me, like has a very distinct art style.
Absolutely.
It's a little bit more comic book driven. And like I said, like the way the track looks with the pixels and stuff, it's got its own unique vibe going on there. And just, yeah, like big environments and stuff.
Yeah. I've got Fortnite on the brain. It looked like Fortnite. That's probably just me syndroming out. A lot of colors popping, you know, the colors pop.
Yeah.
I love that.
And the programmer that I was there talking to, he was formerly from Bizarre Creations. They did Project Gotham and Blur and those games. And so they've also kind of implemented a similar kind of kudos reward system to stuff that you're doing, like drifting around the track and different the ways that you drive. And so the scoring system is a little interesting because there is the race for first.
Yeah.
But then there's also like a points build up at the end. So
so
like,
if you get first, you might not win?
In rare cases.
Okay.
But it's possible.
Yeah.
But what he's saying is like you get rewards for like if you're first every lap. You know, like you'll get points for that.
Perfect. That incentivizes not hanging back then to paint over. Okay.
And
cool.
you know, so that way, like if somebody like knocks you out at the end, you might still end up getting that boost to like end up being in first place anyway. So you're dominating the rest of the race somehow.
Yeah.
Oh, I should mention that too. So so your basic paint mechanic is behind you, right? So like as you're driving, you hold the X button or whatever button is on the bottom of your controller, and it will like lay down just right behind you. And you have a meter, like basically a paint bucket. And then like once that diminishes, then you gotta wait for a cooldown for a couple of seconds, and then your meter's back. And so you gotta really think about like, again, that strategy, like do I lay paint here or not? The other thing that you can do strategically is you can hit the triangle button or the Y button, and you can blast in front of you. And so
it's like a nitro boost.
No, well, not exactly. So what it is like you can actually attack somebody in front of you and knock them out, but it also lays down a line of paint, but that uses up your whole meter. Okay. So the paint doesn't go as far as laying behind you, but you get it's kind of like this risk rewards. Like you get a quick temporary fix to keep you going, but now you got to wait for your cooldown again. The other thing that they have kind of encourage you to kind of go outside the normal lines are like gates, these little archways. And when you hit them, it similarly lays down a path in front of the gate. Cool. And there's even a mode where you don't paint at all. It's just about hitting those gates. Yeah. But it's really interesting to think about a lot of those different things because like, oh, and another thing is that when you paint, you don't boost. Okay. So you gotta like keep that in mind. If like you're holding that paint button down, you're on paint, then you're slowing yourself down. Got it. So you gotta let go to keep
Seems like a lot of strategy and a lot of things to think about. Yeah. Especially if you're playing co-op, you know, or with a buddy. Seems like there's a ton to kind of wrap your head around, but it all seems simple in practice, but hard to kind of master that. Yeah. Yeah, and there's you know, like other things like, you know, like when you're on the last lap, well, it doesn't make sense to lay down paint at all because you're not going to get back there. Yeah. You know, unless you have a teammate behind you, then maybe it's good to fill in some gaps. Oh, gosh. You know, so yeah, again. Love this co-op. Lots of little things to think about. Yeah. What's the progression? Is there like money you unlock and buy different cars? I don't think there's a whole lot of that. I think it's pretty more simple. You know, they do have, they have implemented like reverse tracks, and then he talked about it's like I didn't realize how hard it is to put reverse versions of tracks into games until we decided to do it. And then like mirror modes and stuff like that as well. And then yeah, there's a split screen. It does have online play. Online split screen, which is very nice. What else was there? I should say the platform. So it's basically everything: PS4, Xbox, Switch, and PC. Perfect. I was playing it on a laptop with the PS4 controller, so. Who knows? You know? Yeah. And then here's the cool, crazy thing: coming out in May. May. Coming out quick. Jeez. It's been in development. They said that they started it not too long after they had started. Splatoon 1 was revealed, so it's been in the works in the cooker for a long time. Yeah. But they just like, okay, we're announcing it in February and releasing it in May. Perfect. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, it looks fantastic. I like the time trial of everyone working together to beat the clock. That sounds really fun, and especially the blasting you know, kind of gives me like a Diddy
Yeah.
Kong racing Mario Kart vibe.
And yeah, Diddy Kong reminds
Yeah.
me. That's the other thing I want to say is that the tracks, you know, they really want you to be able to like coordinate with each other and like find your own routes. And so there are tracks that like split up in like 3 different directions and stuff
So
like that.
cool.
So like you can talk to your teammate and like, okay, guys, we're going to be on the left side. You know, follow the left path.
Yeah.
You know, so that way that you guys can keep boosting without, you know, necessarily worrying about, you know, getting painted over or whatever.
Bloodworth, when you stream this game, inevitably I am in.
Cool.
100%.